Hey Bones, did you ever do something embarrassing or silly because you were a new player and you didn't know what was going on? I once healed Cutter's Cry in crafting gear. This is fine. I can fix this. I can fix this. No! What fresh hell is this? No! To help us all feel a little better about our silly mistakes and maybe have like a bit of a cautionary tale for new players to warn them not to follow in our shameful footsteps, I went to social media and I asked the question, what are some rookie mistakes you made when you were new to Eorzea? And I have been overwhelmed by the response. I have gotten hundreds of comments across all social media, and I have gone through them, basically organized them in what are the most common mistakes that I've seen, what are some of the less common. I also want to say that if you see someone's name and avatar shown, they gave me explicit permission to do that. One of the biggest mistakes I saw was people just not reading tooltips. And if you don't read your tooltips, then you don't know that buttons are really supposed to not be pressed in a random order. You need to press them in the order that makes sense after you read the tooltip. That's called a combo. My favorite was, I didn't know a rotation meant a set of skills. So I used to lock onto the boss and walk around it in a circle, pressing the buttons as they lit up. I would literally rotate around enemies. That sounds a lot like my samurai rotation, actually. Another thing you might find on your tooltips is positionals. What are they? Isn't flank just another way of saying not the front? No. No. Positionals what? What are positionals? I played monk for 5 months and cleared T6 before someone told me flank and rear actually different. Not knowing about positionals till a rando mentioned, wow, that dragoon is awfully immobile, followed by another one asking, are you doing positionals? I was already level 60. So definitely check your tooltip. If your button says it does more damage from the rear, go to the gap in the back of the glowy target circle. If it says it does more from the flank, go to the sides. The next most common thing was people not knowing what roles are. People had to explain to me I was supposed to heal, make sure nobody died. I thought Dragoon was a tank. I mean, it is. It's a floor tank. I didn't know what tank was. I chose Gladiator because sword. It's my first MMO. I picked Gladiator, went to Sastasha, didn't know what a tank was. People were shouting at me to use Flash. I didn't have Flash on my bar. Why would I use Flash? It doesn't do any damage. When I first started playing, I rolled as the Berserker DPS. It took me a month to realize I was actually leveling a tank. In 2.0, I thought Pugilist was a tank because of a YouTube video I watched. I kept pulling everything in Sastasha and died repeatedly. What kind of a YouTube video would make you think you can handle the boss with a punch? There was also so much AoE confusion. AoE stands for area of effect. It means that there's a spot on the ground that is going to hurt you if you stand in it. My logic was I was the tank and had hate, and the AoE was on me. So if I moved, I'd turn the boss and take the AoE with me. I was afraid if I moved, the telegraphs would also move. I got all the way to level 65 before figuring out eyeball indicators on attacks meant that you had to look away. Yeah, so if you see the red eyeball, look away. But you should look, your character should look away. My friend told me to look away from a mechanic, and I looked away in real life. That's really cute. That's one of my favorites that I've found. You should also know that there is a special indicator called a stack marker, and it looks like this. The whole party should have a little group hug inside it. You should not run away with it on you. There's also friendly ground AoEs that your party might put down that are not harmful to you. The blue LB indicator, which we'll get to LBs in a second. The tether buff from a Dragoon. So sometimes a Dragoon will put a red little, it looks like a Chinese finger trap thingy on you. The black mages will put down ley lines on the ground. It buffs their damage. It doesn't have any effect on you. My friend Rhiannon said, thinking ley lines worked for everyone. So I'd be running about, placing them on my healers and friends and getting sad when they'd run away. Parina said, I did it from the other direction. If I saw it go up, I'd run into it for a buff that wasn't there. So I said that there were LB problems, and there were so many. Using LB at every chance I got because I thought everyone had their own LB. Same. I did the same thing. I thought LB was personal. I didn't realize the party shared the bar. Yeah, it's for everyone. Someone thought LB meant left bumper. I was in Hawk Manor as a bard. It was my first time in, and the boss was almost dead. And I was the last one alive, and everyone kept saying, LB, LB, use LB! And I had no idea what they meant, and we wiped. I quit playing for 3 months out of embarrassment. That's really sad. That's actually really sad. When I was level 20, I used LB as a white mage in a dungeon and got yelled at. This was my greatest moment of shame in Final Fantasy 14. I'm sorry you got yelled at. Nobody should be yelling at people, especially if you're new. So there's a couple of rules around it. Let me try to explain really quickly. LB is for the whole party. Generally, you want a melee to use it on a boss, sometimes on trash. As a tank, you'll almost never use it. As a healer, you'll probably only use it as LB3 to resurrect an entire raid. So probably don't want to use it as a tank or as a healer randomly, or they'll be mad. Your party. You get it? They'll be mad. Okay, let's move on. So many tank problems in general, like tanks with no stances, no mitigation, no cooldowns. Some of these people never saw my commercial for shield oats. Spinning and strafing and like just dodging around the mob like that. No one told me I had to sit still. Strafing around, thinking I could dodge the attacks. I literally Beybladed my way to 50. In dungeons, I would spin the bosses in circles, thinking that it helped me avoid attacks. It doesn't. It makes DPS mad. Imagine being in a dungeon where the tank is spinning it in circles, trying to avoid attacks, and you have a monk in there that's like simultaneously rotating around the boss. Then there were healer problems. I think there were more healer problems than tanking problems, actually. Not using Swift Cast plus res till Stormblood. Didn't know how to instant res. I would hard res every single tank that died in my care. Another one was putting regen on every single party member before the pull, then wondering why I got aggro. So regen will pull a good bit of aggro onto you before the tank gets a chance to get the aggro. So you might want to wait for the tank to run and get the mobs before putting up your regen or medica too. Getting aggressive as a healer to the point where I forget to heal the tank. So yeah, there was people that berserker healing, and then people coming from WoW who don't realize they also need to be doing damage. One of the more strange ones was so many healers telling me that they thought that an emergency would happen if my tank wasn't on 100% HP all the time. What did you think would happen? I thought I needed to keep everyone 100% topped off at all times, even if only 1 HP was gone. I think there's something kind of wholesome about that, because it's like you don't even want to scratch on your tank. You don't want them to be hurt at all. It's just like excellent health the whole time. The worst mistake I made was skipping cutscenes. Skipping cutscenes till Stormblood. I had no idea why everyone loved that sucker in Heaven's Ward for a long while. Well, now we have the benefit of New Game Plus. So if you did that, you can do New Game Plus and play through the story that you missed. I was obsessed with hitting Heaven's Ward because how much my friends loved it. I ended up not even really enjoying Heaven's Ward due to me being obsessed to catch up. Slow down. Slow your roll and just enjoy it, because you only get the first time one time. Trying to play FF like WoW and racing the game instead of playing it like a Final Fantasy game. Slow, chill, and for fun. Trying to rush stuff, thinking I must catch up to everyone. I realized I shouldn't. Now at Heaven's Ward, taking my sweet time. Well, good luck enjoying that Heaven's Ward sucker that everybody likes. So I saw a lot of people not understanding the difference between main story quests and side quests, or trying to finish all the side quests in a zone before moving on. That's not how you play 14. You might do 1 or 2 side quests here or there in a zone, but you focus on your main story quests and your class and job quests. Unless you like doing all the side quests, in which case, knock yourself out. The real main quest is to have fun. There's also special markers for important unlock quests that I noticed a lot of people missed. I got to 80 and finished Shadowbringers before learning what the challenge log was. Oh my god. Forgetting to unlock the challenge log. It's an extremely missable feature. That's true. Not unlocking Glamour till I was 50. Please unlock your challenge log. Unlock Glamour. Do the important unlocks. 2 separate people said that they got to level 15 killing only mobs. It was my first MMO, so I started leveling RPG style up to 15, 1 beastie at a time. Wow. I was like, I'm so sorry. An absolutely massive number of people told me that for various reasons, they did not have their jobstone equipped. Forgot to put the jobstone on. I didn't know there was a quest to get the jobstone. I didn't do any job quests, didn't have jobstone, no jobstone, no I thought soul stones were an optional feature and was insistent on staying pugilist. Please unlock your job at 30. I did Omega 1 as a Lancer. Oh, my friend Crystal commented and she said, I didn't know what job quests were as a new player. So I did the whole Crystal Tower raid series as a thaumaturge. I actually asked her about this on the stream yesterday. She came by to my stream last night and I asked her about this and she said that she was actually streaming at the time. The chat was telling her, unlock Black Mage. And she said she didn't know how to do it. So she was just like freaking out. Oh, I think she said she thought it would unlock through the main story quest. You got to do your job quests. Conjurer till 42. Conjurer till 50. I forgot my class quest for almost 2 expansions. So please do all your class and job quests. They're super important. Equip your job stone. Stoned, forget it. And finally, I wanted to go through some that didn't really fit into the other categories or they were just really funny. Answering to every shout or talk in the chat box because I thought they were for me. I started playing with people who weren't casters. I thought on healer, since they weren't casting their main attacks, because they're not casters, I shouldn't be either. And I was auto-attacking out of anxiety for a long while. So like smacking them with the white mage cane to fit in with the other melee. This is a great one. I thought that as a Sprout Bard, all I needed to do was find a good place to hide and shoot from. I just love this. I love this one because it's such a D&D logic. I got kicked in Cutter's Cry for standing on a cliff and shooting well out of healer's range. I couldn't figure out why I was dying. I mean, it's tactically sound. Thinking Gatherer node times were in real life, not Eorzea time, and giving up on ever being able to gather some of that. So if I go to the gathering thing right now, this player believed that the next time that I can gather a lemonette is going to be at 6 a.m. And I will have a window between 6 and 7:55 a.m. to go and gather the lemonette in Colusia. That is... That's kind of how fishing works, though. I didn't know I could zoom out my screen for a year. Not understanding how Bard songs worked and why I wasn't getting the procs. Because I was only using Wind Bite. Here's the kicker. I didn't have Venomous Bite on my bar because I didn't want to poison people. And finally, I pressed something on my keyboard and I could only walk from then on. I didn't know how to solve it. I didn't know that there was a mode where you could only walk. And this brought up so many questions for me. I'm like, how long were you just walking? Like, did you think that you got debuffed or something? So on that note, that about wraps things up here. I do really hope that this video was fun, enlightening maybe. And we all had a good time looking at each other's silly mistakes and realizing that maybe we're not so alone in doing silly things as a new player. So don't be worried that you're gonna make mistakes. You will. You definitely will. I want to thank you again, everyone who responded to my posts on social media. I had an absolute blast reading through these. If you like this video, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your friends. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!